What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for June the 21st, 2021. The countdown is on. We're 3 Monday Night Raws left inside the Blunderdome and 3 SmackDowns. So we are on our way to ending this nightmare. And there was news coming out over the weekend that the USA Network was not happy with the fact that there was a Hell in a Cell match on Friday. How dare WWE give a Hell in a Cell to their rival? How dare they get a Hell in a Cell match and we don't? So, lo and behold, tonight's main event was a Hell in a Cell match. So yes, that's right. 4 days. In 4 days, we had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Hell in a Cells. And honestly, the only match of all 4 that even warranted that type of stipulation was Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. The Bayley and Bianca Belair did not warrant it. The Roman Reigns and Rey Mysterio did not warrant Hell in a Cell, and tonight's main event did not need to have a Hell in a Cell. They just don't even care anymore. It's obvious. Just the fact that you're going to take a stipulation that everybody loved, everybody adored, everyone thought was one of the greatest Hell in a Cell, one of the greatest gimmicks that WWE has, and you're just going to overuse it time and time again. That'd be like taking the Elimination Chamber, putting it on SmackDown, going to Elimination Chamber, having 2 there, and then going to Monday Night Raw the next week. USA Network crying like little bitches that they didn't get an Elimination Chamber while Fox did, and giving us a 4th Elimination Chamber. How bad is that? Or hell, if you would give us 4 cage matches in the span of 1 week, it waters down the product. It waters down the stipulation. Again, why do we need a fucking pay-per-view if you can just have a random match be in the Hell in a Cell? So, let's see here. We started it off. Lashley, his hoes, and Bobby Lashley and MVP come down to the VIP lounge. They note that the Hell in a Cell is still up above. So, you knew that something was going to be inside Hell in a Cell. Also tonight was the start of the Money in the Bank qualifying matches, as Money in the Bank is going to be the first pay-per-view outside the Blunderdome in quite some time. And we're going to have 2 tag team matches in the women's division to fill up their half. And then we're going to have 3 men's qualifying matches, with the final spot being filled out next week. So I do like the fact that we're getting qualifying matches. I absolutely hate when WWE has Money in the Bank come up and it's like, well, we're at Money in the Bank time, and here's the group of talent going to be in Money in the Bank in 2020, whatever. And it's like, are you serious? I mean, I like the fact that they went with this, but the tag team matches we'll get into for the women, because neither one of them were good. Neither one of them. And we got to talk about 2 things. And I thought I was going to come on here. And I was going to rip WWE doing the unthinkable and changing Piper Niven's name. Hopefully temporarily, but still changing it. But, man, WWE is like, oh, you don't like this name? Well, here's this in the second match. So we're going to talk about that. So, yes, we had Bobby Lashley, MVP, and them come down. They're celebrating. They're holding their wine glasses up. They had the ladies and everything. It's the VIP lounge. You know, doing it great. They're all here for a toast. And out comes the New Day with a tray of literal toast. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They had a tray of actual toast. So they come down. They throw the toast. And Kofi Kingston pretty much reminds him that he's a former WWE champion, and he wants a match with Bobby Lashley at Money in the Bank, because Bobby Lashley right now does not have an opponent. So he reminds him that he did beat him a couple weeks ago. Now, they show the footage, and conveniently enough, they leave out the Drew McIntyre portion of that, where Drew McIntyre hit Bobby Lashley with a cane, allowing Kofi Kingston to win. So, Bobby Lashley pretty much says, you know what, I accept. I accept because you couldn't beat me clean and fair, so I'm going to beat your ass clean and fair. But I want a match with your so-called friend here. Of course, Xavier Woods, he accepts the match, but he says he wants it inside Hell in a Cell. So, for the first time in 23 years, Hell in a Cell will be on WWE's Monday Night Raw. The last time there was a Hell in a Cell on Monday Night Raw, it was in 1998. It was Kane versus Mankind. It went to a no contest. Yes, the Hell in a Cell has not always had such high standards because you had the first one, and then you had two on Monday Night Raw in the span of 2 months or so, or something like that, and they were garbage. They should have never been on Monday Night Raw. But then you had the famous one with Mick Foley and The Undertaker, and the legend of the Hell in a Cell went on from there, and now it's a pay-per-view. And now they have they have buried it so far and drug it down so deep that I don't want to see a Hell in a Cell in 2022. I don't want to see a Hell in a Cell in 2023. I don't want to see a Hell in a Cell until 2025 at the earliest. Seeing as the fact that we had Hell in a Cell last October and we're here in June having four. So, within the span of less than 365 days, we have had 6 Hell in a Cell matches. That's too many. That is way too many. So we as fans, why should we care about Hell in a Cell? If, I guess Bobby Lashley vs. Drew McIntyre warrants it because it was the last chance for Drew McIntyre. You win here, or no more title shots for you, until Bobby Lashley at least loses the championship. And Rey Mysterio won at Hell in a Cell because, oh, my 20-year-old baby boy couldn't defend himself, so I have to be the man to do it. So, yeah. And then, of course, hey, Bianca Belair won in a match with Bayley inside Hell in a Cell because Bayley was laughing at her this whole time. And she felt like the naysayers, she reminded her of the naysayers from when she was a child, which nobody gives a shit about. But anyway, yes. Hell in a Cell, main event. Why? Because the USA Network are some petty dumb fucks. That's all I can say about that. They are some petty losers. They didn't get a Hell in a Cell. They cried foul. Now, the biggest reason that the NBC Universal cried foul, because it's not just USA Network, but it's also NBC Universal. They cried foul is because Roman Reigns is a big deal to not just WWE, but the networks. He is the biggest star that WWE has right now that isn't over the age of 40, who hasn't been here for almost 20 years. Roman Reigns is the guy they've been pushing forever. And Peacock loses out on that match until it goes up whenever they do it whenever they put that episode of SmackDown on the WWE Network. So, until that time, Peacock lost out on that match. Yes, they got 2 for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, but honestly, Rey Mysterio versus Roman Reigns would have been the biggest deal they had, and they lost out on that because it was on SmackDown. So, to make good, WWE puts a Hell in a Cell match on tonight. So, we go to our first Money in the Bank qualifying match, Ricochet versus AJ Styles. But before that, the Viking Raiders are in the back wondering, when are we going to get our title match? Because remember, they won a Battle Royal a couple weeks ago to determine who's going to face the tag team champions for the tag team titles. But we didn't know who was going to get, when the match was going to happen. So, yeah, we go to AJ Styles almost make fun of them. One of the Viking Raiders had a turkey leg. AJ knocks the turkey leg over. I think, the bald one holds his partner back. I can't remember the damn names off the top of my head, which one's which. So, yes, you knew that this was going to go the way it was, that AJ Styles and Ricochet wasn't going to have a somewhat of a clean finish because you knew the Viking Raiders were going to get involved. They took out Omos. AJ and Ricochet have a good match. Now, here's the problem with Ricochet and AJ Styles. AJ Styles, Ricochet, two really great wrestlers. AJ is one of the best. He's probably the best of the last 10, 15 years. So, not to take away from him. Ricochet is one of those guys that just got a bum rap in WWE and they're not doing shit with him since he left NXT. Doesn't that sound about right? And I would care more about Ricochet winning this match, because obviously he was going to, if they haven't been burying Ricochet on main event in catering for the last 9 fucking months. Why should anyone care about Ricochet when he hasn't been seen on TV as a regular in so long? The last time he was getting beat up by Retribution. He was feuding with Sheamus and Humberto over the United States Championship, and that's been dropped because, Sheamus is injured. Anyway, so yeah, the Viking Raiders come out, they attack Omos, Omos fights them off, they sidestep him, he goes through the barrier, that distracts AJ Styles enough, so when he goes for phenomenal forearm, Ricochet is able to hit the ripcord knee into the pin for the 1, 2, 3. And Ricochet was the first of many upsets, according to WWE's commentators, on this night. So Ricochet will be going to the Money in the Bank. AJ Styles will be in a triple threat next week to determine the final spot for the men on Raw. Orton is backstage when Riddle rides up his scooter, talking about how they both have a chance to qualify for Money in the Bank. He mentions hiding his stash in the briefcase if he wins. Ha 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 ha. Riddle says his stash of Whoppers. Ha 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 ha. Don't give a shit. Back from Wake, we see how even we returned last week an unidentified friend, aka Piper Niven. Kevin Patrick stops Eva and Piper Niven backstage. She says, I had been 5 years since she stepped in a WWE ring, so everything had to be perfect last week. She wanted to go and got a mani-pedi before Raw, but unfortunately, she picked up a cold. She fakes coughs. But she knew the WWE Universe was dying to see her return, so she went and found her protege and had her step in her place instead. They ask her what her name is. She's about to answer, but Eva cuts her off, looks her up and down a few times, and says her name is... This is the only time I'm saying this fucking name, because this is ridiculous. Duo Drop. So, basically, this is a way for Vince McMahon to sit back there and be like, ah, ha, 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 that's a funny name. Look at her. She looks like a donut. Ah, ha, ha, ha. They're body shaming her in plain sight. Piper Niven came up this Monday Night Raw last week, got body shamed throughout her entire time on Monday Night Raw last week. WWE talent stood up for her, and they're going to find it okay for the WWE management to go out there and give her a name that is 100% body shaming her. Fuck you, Vince. Fuck you and your bullshit. Her name, again, is Piper fucking Niven, and that is how it's going to stay. I cannot fucking wait till we get the crowds in July, and all you hear is, Piper Niven, clap, clap, clap. Piper Niven. And I know WWE is going to do everything they can to silence the crowd, but I hope the crowd, the little bit of crowd they'll have, is there. And they're so loud that not even the censors of WWE can keep it down. Oh, and you thought that was the worst thing on this show. Oh, no, no, no. The other women's tag team match later on was worse. Asuka and Naomi versus Eva Marie and Piper Niven. Basically, Piper Niven wrestles majority of this match by herself. She does a big move, which I just find it despicable that the commentators are just gleefully saying this fucking derogatory name and going along with this as if it's fucking great. Fuck you, Vince. Fuck you. Eva tagged herself in. Of course, Piper's not happy about this. Which, when she said the fucking terrible name, Piper had this disgusting look on her face. So, honestly, I hope this team's not long for a thing. Now, Eva is shocked and worried. She begs Niven to tap in. Niven drops down off the apron as Eva begs her to come back. Naomi takes advantage, rolls her up. 1, 2, 3. Asuka and Naomi are the winners. Now, one of two things. This obviously means that Piper Niven and Eva Marie are not going to be a thing, hopefully, for very long. And WWE learns the lesson, because remember what happened when the Viking Raiders came up? They came up from being the War Raiders to the Viking Experience, and then the very next week they were the Viking Raiders. Hopefully this shitty derogatory name is gone by next week. Because she does not deserve to be body shamed by their fucking company. Vince McMahon, fuck you and your stupidity. Honestly, I wish somebody would drag Vince McMahon outside and beat the holy shit out of him. And leave him there to suffer in agonizing pain for the rest of the fucking night. Because this stupid ass piece of shit gets away with this and everyone just bows their head and don't speak up. Pathetic. Every single person in the company who okayed this and was just fine with this, you should be ashamed of yourself. Plain and simple. We get a video package of the show about 9,000. Horrendous win over, DQ win over Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. We see Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage discussing this controversial finish. Oh yeah, it was controversial, but not in the way they want to see. They think it is. They're heading to the ring to go back to commercial. We go back to break and look at the VIP lounge earlier in the show. Whoop-de-doo. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce in the ring. Now they want to discuss the incident at Hell in a Cell. They call out Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley. She takes the mic and says she heard Deville was coming to summon her. Pearce agrees with Deville and says that what Ripley did last night was completely unacceptable. I'm sorry, what? She took the announce table top and threw it at Charlotte. At the Charbot. I'm sorry. I keep doing that, but it's the Charbot. And it's like, that's not that bad. That is definitely not that fucking bad. So, Rhea obviously points out that I would have, the Charbot would have did the same thing if she was in my situation. And she gets to do that. She breaks the rules all the time and gets away with it. Out comes the Charbot, who's not mad. She's actually proud of her because she was kicking Rhea's ass last night and the first time Rhea proved she was smart and clever at least. She's a strategic competitor like me. But I'm going to destroy you. Deville says if that is her way of asking for a rematch, she will grant it. Pearce agrees. Deville announces Flair as the Charbot versus Ripley for the title at Money in the Bank. They stare each other down, and that is that. No conflict, nothing else. Just give the Charbot the championship. We know you want to. We know you want to bury Ripley 6 feet under, as you've been doing this whole entire fucking time. This has been absolutely garbage. We see Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose brawling with the Women's Tag Team Champions last week. Natalya defeating Rose at Hell in a Cell kickoff. We see Sarah Schreiber interrupting Natalya and Tamina's photo shoot earlier today. Natalya and Tamina step away to ask Brooke and Rose if they keep it quiet, just like how the roles were reversed last Monday. They have some words before the champs get ready to storm the ring, but they're sent back to the floor. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Wrong one. John Morrison versus Randy Orton. Okay, so The Miz is injured. Do we really need to see him on TV on a weekly basis acting like a fucking clown? Oh, yep, because you know why? He's Vince McMahon's favorite clown. And you know, Vince McMahon has to get his chuckles in because, you know, fat shaming is not enough chuckles for him. Let's get the guy on the wheelchair to get some more laughs. So these guys are having a damn good match. By the way, I didn't know this, and I find this hard to believe, but I'm not a wrestling historian who goes back and checks every match of Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, ECW, pay-per-view from whatever. This is John Morrison and Randy Orton's first ever one-on-one match. Just, that boggles my mind. If that's true, wow. I figured they at least would have met one-on-one during Morrison's first run with the company. His better run with the company. But wow. We actually have a first time ever match, and these guys went out there and had a hell of a match. Now, Randy Orton's going to win the match. He hits the DDT, gets ready for the RKO. When Miz, with the dripstick, sprays Orton in the face. Orton sees it. Morrison takes advantage of the distraction of Orton for 2. Renault rides down, and we have ourselves a slow speed chase. Instead of, getting off the scooter, running over there, running faster than, Miz can actually, get himself away and beating him up, we have a slow speed chase. While this is happening, Randy Orton is paying attention to everything that's going outside the ring instead of paying attention to John Morrison. He goes to grab Morrison. Morrison drops him on the top rope for distraction. Morrison hits a Starship Pain. 1, 2, 3. John Morrison is your winner. I'm like, are you serious? You really could not you really couldn't make Randy Orton look more stupid at this time. Holy hell, that looked bad. What else did you expect? That was terrible. Absolutely atrocious booking. I mean, if you're going to have Randy Orton lose and John Morrison go in, which is fine, we don't really need to have Randy Orton there again. He's been in Money in the Bank multiple times. He's actually won Money in the Bank once. And, yeah. After the match, we see... we go to the back. Well, we see Alexa Bliss come out as it's time for the next match. And I can't even get into this. Alexa Bliss is in the ring. We go to the back. We see Nikki Cross, just the fucking, from neck up of Nikki Cross. She's wearing this blue mask with her eyes, got some, greenish paint on it or something. And I can't, they dressed Nikki Cross up like a fucking superhero in 2021. What in the little fuck? It's blue, there's a gold butterfly in the middle. Just, why? Why? Why are we having Nikki Cross dressing like a superhero? It's blue with gold leggings, blue knee pads, a blue, oh my god, this looks terrible. She got new music, so they got rid of that shitty-ass music, that, country song that she was going with, so I will give them that. I mean, Alexa Bliss also got some new music, so she finally cut the final tie with The Fiend. Stop using that remix version of the Firefly Funhouse music, but this, oh my god, what the hell is this? And Nikki looks so fucking happy. Man, NXT Nikki with the sunglasses, the camo bandana over her face, the hood, the jacket with the Scottish flag on it. Just, she looked badass. She looked great, and now she looks like a fucking joke. Everyone's like, oh, well, some dumbass was like, oh, alien, dinosaur, oh, where was it at? It's in here somewhere. It's like alien, dinosaur, jelly Nutella, and all this other stuff, and Rio. But this is a problem, and laughing emoji, and I'm like, you can't compare the two. Nikki, the difference is those characters have been that character the entire fucking time. You took a badass, crazy bitch and turned her into a superhero. A terrible looking superhero. This is another one of those parts of wrestling that if I'm sitting there watching it and, you know, I'm sitting on the couch watching and I go and I hear, oh, wait a minute, I gotta find the remote, gotta change the channel because I don't want to see anybody, I don't want anybody to see me watching this. This is an absolute embarrassment that you put Nikki Cross through this. That's the best you got for Nikki Cross. A fucking superhero. Now everyone, like, people are mentioning, like, the Hurricane, Mighty Molly. Yes, those worked in 2002, 2001, 2003, whatever. This isn't it. So, it was Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss teaming up again, even though Alexa Bliss is still evil Alexa, to take on Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Basically, more voodoo magic. More voodoo magic stops, like, she possesses Reginald. There's Alexa Bliss. Looks like she's gonna get him to slap Nia Jax. He stops, almost almost hitting her. They hug. Nikki Cross was able to kick those two down. She rolls Shayna Baszler up 1, 2, 3. Now, may I ask, why is WWE so paranoid to protect Nia Jax from getting pinned clean, but they'll pin Shayna Baszler all the fucking time? Last week you had Nia Jax taking on Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax got hit with Twisted Bliss and was about to get pinned, and Reginald pulled Alexa Bliss off, causing Alexa Bliss to win by DQ. But here, oh no, it's fine for Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler's not a... That just shows you WWE's thoughts on Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax. They have high priority on Nia Jax, but not on Shayna Baszler. What an absolute joke. Just wow. Just wow. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce approach Drew McIntyre backstage, revealing nasty scars on his back. They make it clear he does not have to compete tonight, but the passionate Drew insists to cuts a promo on how he will never give up, and he'll keep fighting. They both wish him luck. Matt Riddle versus Drew McIntyre. Now, Drew McIntyre goes out there Drew McIntyre, people are giving a lot of hate to Drew McIntyre because he's had the championship twice over the last year. And he's been in almost, I think, every single championship match since WrestleMania last year for the WWE Championship. No, besides, other than Miz and dropping the title to Bobby Lashley. Other than that, he's been in every championship match, and he's gotten opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. But the guy has held this brand down through the entire Blunderdome era. Anybody talking shit on Drew McIntyre, this guy has gone out there the night after Hell in a Cell, busted his ass to make sure this was a damn good match with him and Matt Riddle. And it was a damn good match. About a little over halfway through the match, Randy Orton comes to the stage. He's just standing there watching. He'll have his arms crossed, he'll put his arms down, cross down, to see if his on-again, off-again tag team partner, whatever you want to call him, gets the win. And surprisingly so, Matt Riddle does get the win with a roll-up after a glass cow kiss. So, Riddle hops up in his scooter and the music hits, riding to the stage to join Orton, who's watching. He's happy and about to win, but Orton just stares at him, seething. Riddle finally realizes that Orton is happy, asks him what's wrong, telling Orton he's always here for him, and Orton can talk to him. Orton stares straight ahead and that was that. Now, next week, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles will be in a triple threat match. The winner goes to be the final spot for the men's side of the Money in the Bank. The women's is already done, as it's Naomi, Asuka, Nikki Cross, and Alexa Bliss. Good thing they saved us from having Eva Marie being in Money in the Bank, because you know full well if Eva Marie would have been in Money in the Bank, she was going to win. She was going to win, and we would have to deal with an Eva Marie Money in the Bank win. Thankfully, cooler heads prevailed, and we didn't get that. Jackson Ryker was warming up for his back when Mansoor was going to ask, which, by the way, it's so funny. If you really want to laugh, go to hashtag WWE RAW anytime Jackson Ryker is on television, because you'll be able to pick out the anti-American lunatics all the time, because they hate Jackson Ryker. The SJWs, the left-leaning type, anybody who hates America but still live here, hate capitalism, hate all that shit, want to call everything and anybody racist. You will see them come out of the woodwork when Jackson Ryker comes on TV. It is hilarious. So, yeah. Next week, apparently, we're going to have a strap match between him and Elias, because Elias has spent the last two matches running like a scolded dog and a little bitch. Of course, then we get to Bobby Lashley versus Xavier Woods. Hell in a Cell. Did this match need Hell in a Cell? Fuck no. This is just a WWE cop-out, because they put a Hell in a Cell on SmackDown, and you knew, everybody should have seen this coming. Everybody should have seen it coming, that the USA Network would be so unhappy. It's petty as shit. It's absolutely petty. It's like, maybe not have the networks tell you what's wrong with your product and what you need. That's how we got the 24/7 championship, by the way, was because the USA Network decided that they wanted change. They wanted things new. And that's how we got the fucking thing that we have called the 24/7 championship, which thankfully seems to be like dormant as much. We haven't seen it much lately. It's just kind of disappeared. Maybe they've deactivated it quietly, because it has done nothing for the WWE. Nothing. So, yeah. Yeah, we haven't seen the 24/7 championship since May 17th, and I hope it stays that way. I really fucking hope it stays that way. So, we get the Hell in a Cell match, Xavier Woods versus Bobby Lashley. Of course, this is not either man's first foray into Hell in a Cell, as Xavier Woods was one of the two members when the Usos took on the New Day in Hell in a Cell. The other one, of course, was Big E. Kofi, I don't think, has ever been inside Hell in a Cell. So, there's that. But, yeah. So, Bobby Lashley fights, Xavier Woods starts early, kicking him a couple times in the leg, trying to, take advantage of injuries from the prior night. Bobby Lashley gets back in it. Eventually, Xavier Woods tries to get a chair, tries to hit Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley grabs it, throws it at Xavier Woods, and then cold cocks the fuck out of that chair right into his face. And Jimmy Smith's like, who the fuck does that? Doesn't say fuck, but you know what he means. Right, I know what he means. Basically, Xavier Woods gets some offense in. We get a couple kendo sticks. They both go through a table. Xavier Woods gets his head thrown face first into a chair. Big spear into the Hurt Lock. Xavier Woods taps out. And Bobby Lashley goes 2 for 2 back-to-back nights in Hell in a Cell. Now, after the match, for some reason the cell just didn't go up. That's usually what happens when you have a Hell in a Cell match. The cell just starts to go up. But it didn't on this night. So, somehow MVP was able to open the cell, get himself in there. He locks the cell, while Bobby Lashley continues to beat up Xavier Woods. He puts him in the Hurt Lock again by where Kofi Kingston's at, outside the cell, and holds it in while MVP talks trash, and Kofi Kingston is telling him to let him go. So, Bobby Lashley's sending a message to Kofi Kingston that your ass is mine at the next pay-per-view. So, this was not a bad episode. This was actually, I think, one of the better episodes of Monday Night Raw, with two glaring exceptions. That, of course, being both women's tag team matches. My goodness. First with Eva Marie and Piper Niven, which I'm glad Eva Marie was the one to take the pinfall. So guess what? Eventually, record-wise, I guess she's 0-2. Or 1-1, whatever. And then Nikki the Superhero. Holy shit. That was atrocious. And that's what WWE does with one of the best women's wrestlers. Somebody who should be fighting for the Raw Women's Championship as the Psycho Nikki Cross. What happened to Nikki Cross, huh? Because I don't see that anymore. I see Super Nikki, who looks like shit. My goodness, man. The superhero, dressing up like a superhero works on the indies because you can do anything on the indies. You literally could do anything on the indies and some way would get over. But this isn't the indies. And this isn't the early 2000s. So, whoever put this together, Shane Helms works for WWE, so I'm pretty sure he had something to do with this. But it makes no fucking sense why you would go with this for Nikki Cross. She's gotten a couple lucky victories because of the opponents being stupid or them turning on each other. But hey, there you go. Hey, if she wins Money in the Bank, whatever, but I doubt it. We'll see who goes on SmackDown on Friday. What's great about this week is we don't have any more doubleheaders. It's just Friday Night SmackDown, Saturday Night AEW, and then next week we go back to normal where it's Raw, AEW, and then SmackDown. But that is your Monday Night Raw review. Probably the best show. This is a really low bar. This is probably the best Monday Night Raw of 2021. But that ain't saying much. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Mods at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Friday for SmackDown. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.